What I do is sculptural basketry. I call it that because it's non-functional most of the time. It's not your traditional basketry. I am not a traditional basket maker in the sense of the original definition. I'm trying to change that definition. Don't use traditional materials. The vessel part is very important to me. And I like to think that I choose vessels because they contain commentary or an idea, they hold a feeling. I'd like to think that I'm engineering with color and texture. Sometimes I start out with an idea or even a title, and sometimes I don't have the slightest idea what the title is going to be till after it's all over. But what I am trying to do is express some commentary through what I call contemporary basketry. How I came to my art to the back door of macrame. Here it was, the 70s, and I took a class, at the community center, and started macrameing my little heart out. But I very much got past the plant hangers and jute window hangings, and even back then was doing it a little differently. So I had to do it with embroidery floss instead of string or jute or cord. And so I have always been interested in art of some kind or craft. I'm very much of the keeping those hands busy type of person. I was attracted to the cable tie standing in the hardware store, looking at the electrical aisle of Home Depot, and didn't realize that they came in all these colors, and a lot of my ideas come in that moment of, I could do something with that. So the cable tie has been something that I want to use every possible which way. I don't think that I've finished exploring the uses of cable ties. Sometimes you cannot recognize the materials until you go up close, and that's my desire, is that the viewer in my work might see a total picture, but then go up and see a detail on the inside or on something that surprises them. Here's a cable tie. A cable tie is something that locks. It's something that gets hooked into itself, and some people call it zip ties because of this sound. It's also used for handcuffs because they lock. So it's a decisive. If I don't want that to be someplace, I have to cut it off. But it's definitely an intentional element. So I'm intrigued by the end of the cable tie, the little, what I call butt of the cable tie. Sometimes I'll have them cut short, sometimes I'll leave them long, but on moss they're really quite hair-like. It's all about color, texture, recontextualizing elements, using unexpected ingredients. My family makes fun of me because anything can be basket material. I pick up stuff from the ground. My term for them is schmoikels. I pick up schmoikels all over the place. I look at things differently. Anything can be basket material. Instead of recycling, I like to use materials that are either used, worn every day, or just mundane items that we buy, and throw away, or perhaps the packaging that comes with something else. Or I often have folks see my art and ask me if I would like a bunch of what they were about to throw away, and that is my favorite kind of material and the the best challenge that there is. How can I use that? So sometimes we take for granted what we have extra in our lives. There's a newspaper, or 3 of them, that arrive at our door every morning, and when it's raining they have bags around them, and they're all different colors. So I keep those bags, I rolled them and attached them with some security ties similar to cable ties. And my commentary was really that these are items that you overlook, and I don't want them to be overlooked. I dance on the cusp of fine craft and fine art. I show mostly in the fine art milieu. And some people don't really know what to make of my art form in that venue. It is a craft in that it's basket making at base, and that's structurally the way I put my art together, but I've gone so far beyond a regular basket that it is considered fine art. So I show a lot of in a lot of fine art places. Right now I'm living the dream of having 30 or so years of a day job, a contemporary craft store, and selling other people's art. I've gone through parenting. I have 2 children, I have 4 grandchildren, I have a husband who still likes to spend time with me. I do fit it all in because I'm most passionate, most driven about doing my work. I am now working with intention. I come to my studio at the ICB and really concentrate and work for hours at a time. I'm the type of personality where I hate to interrupt that because I'm so into it. I do teach classes. I teach adults and I teach kids. Adults come to my studio and I do Saturday workshops, 10 to 4. I do 4 or so different techniques. I'll teach twined and plaited basketry, which is a very traditional soaking of reed and weaving in between those spokes kind of technique. I do coiled basketry, which is a spiraling sewing sort of technique. I do what I call a random weave basketry, which is not as symmetrical and regular. There's a technique to it, but the idea is to be odd. And then I teach a class, my favorite, called wacky basketry. And that's anything goes, and that's more like my particular style or my particular signature. Although we don't necessarily work with cable ties, we'll work with vegetable bags or pipe cleaners or toothbrushes or anything that's not what you would assume to be a basket material. This is a personal piece for me. It's about a saying that I say to my family and close friends all the time. It's called "Remember Who Loves You." And I abbreviate it for emails and birthday cards, and hence the inside is only the initials of the words RWLY. Spelled it out in embroidery on the outside, and love all the different shoulder pads given to me by a whole bunch of different people that I know, or some of them I don't even know. And the cable tie is emphasizing the outside of the shoulder pad, which that's part of my signature too. It's a very me piece. Here's a piece that I recently made called Pianissimo. It's made with piano innards. I was very attracted to the teardrop end of the internal hammer that pounds on the strings. I hand felted the bottom to kind of echo the teardrop form. But this is just a structural vessel using intriguing ingredients. The tops of the piano keys, the inners, they're all, to me, in themselves, things of beauty. This is a fun piece. It was fun to make. It's called Steppin' Out, and it's about being wild and young. It has flip-flops as its bottom, and it's made with straws, also with mylar, which is this very shiny, glitzy purple part. In this case, I cut off all the cable ties, how I call it, at the butt, so that just you have these little knobs that are all over it. And I just followed the shape of the flip-flops. The flip-flops on, you can tell more that that's the bottom. And I just wanted to comment on brightness, lightness, almost the dancing part of life.